Greetings, everyone. With the prosperity and progress of the economy and technology, everyone, including workers, students, and all walks of life, has many important things waiting to be done every day. The hectic pace may make you feel tired, depressed, or even sleepy. In fact, these reasons may be closely related to stress. All aspects of life may become the source of stress. It can be said that stress is almost everywhere. Today, our topic is I feel,
I succumb, I conquer.
Before getting further to our topic, let's begin with the overview. First, we'll start by talking about the introduction. Then, we will move on to the second part, relevance to the courses. Next, we will talk about the methodology. After that, we will introduce you to the findings and discussion. Finally, we will end the presentation with a conclusion. Last but not least, we will also list out the references. So let's start by talking about the introduction. Stress has a great impact on everyone. In recent years, plenty of social news has reported that some people easily ended their beautiful lives because of excessive stress. For workers, because the living price continues to rise, people will not be able to afford the houses they want. In addition, the salaries of the public haven't been raised, so the pressure has gradually increased. For students, schoolwork is the main source of the pressure, especially for high school students and university students. Through this research, we aim to better understand further about stress.
For our research purpose, we have 3 points. First, we want to understand the sources of stress that people have nowadays. Next, we want to discuss the effect of stress to our mind and our body. Last, we want to learn how to relieve stress. Moving on to the next part, relevance to the courses. We applied what we had learned in school curriculum to our research. First, we use Microsoft Word for text layout and structure, Google Form for questionnaire design and analysis, Excel for chart and columns, and PowerPoint for presentation. These are all learned from Introduction to Digital Technology. What's more, we have been improving our reading and writing skills in Advanced English Reading and Writing course. Not only did it help us express ourselves more correctly, but also help us write better in English during our research. For our next part, methodology, participants. We designed a questionnaire, did a survey, and collect 268 valid responses from people all over Taiwan. Among the participants, students account for 68.5% and workers account for 31.5%. For student group, males account for 56% and females account for 44%. On the other hand, for workers group, males account for 45% and females account for 55%.
Instruments. We divided our questionnaire into 3 parts. In the first part, question 1 to 7 asks about the participants' stress levels. After that, question 8 asks them to choose their sources of stress. And question 9 asks them to choose their solutions to relieve stress.
Let's move our attention to the next part, findings and discussion. For the first question, what are the sources of stress that people have nowadays? For students, according to a result of our survey, the top 3 sources for students are excess stress, planning toward the future, and tire pressure. Among these 3 sources, excess stress accounts for 67%, which means that at least 50% of students worry about their performance in schoolwork. The next one is planning toward the future, which accounts for 65%. For students, they have to explore themselves in order to find their own expertise in future direction. However, how to plan their future career is a massive obstacle for them. For the next one is time oppression, which accounts for 58%. To cater to the 108 curriculum, students need to become versatile, which means that they have to explore more in different fields. However, they still need to take their schoolwork into account. Apparently, this will lead to a growing time oppression.
For workers, their top 3 sources are working stress, economic stress, and competitive stress. Working stress accounts for the most part. which is 73%, according to research from ROC Ministry of Labor. Taiwan's total working hours ranked 4th in the world, which means that laborers' working circumstances is more compact than those in other countries. The second one is economic stress, which accounts for 72%. With the increasing price of commodities, workers need to work more diligently to afford the expense of the family and daily life. The third one is competitive stress, which accounts for 66%. To keep their job position and not to be fired, workers need to improve their ability as well enough to compete with other employees.
Let's move on to the next question. What are the effects of stress on our mind and body? Well, there are 5 emotional effects and 4 physical effects. For the emotional part, the first is becoming easily agitated, frustrated, and moody. Second is feeling overwhelmed, like you're losing control. Third is having difficulty relaxing and quieting your mind. Next is thinking bad about yourself, such as lonely, worthless, and depressed. Last is avoiding others. Let's move our attention to another part, the physical effects. The effects first may occur is low energy and headache. Second is an upset stomach such as diarrhea. As the stress becomes heavier, it may lead to chest pain and rapid heartbeat. Here are the terminal effects we may get, such as nervousness, shaking, cold, ringing in the ears, or even sweaty hands and feet. Stress really brings a lot of bad influences to us, right? Well, this relates to our last question. What are the solutions to relieve stress?
Well, we have some suggestions for you to help you handle stress in healthy ways. For the basic ways, you can eat and drink to optimize your health, exercise regularly, or set some realistic goals and expectations. If you think those methods are not very useful, you can learn some advanced solution. Try practicing relaxation techniques such as progressive muscle relaxation or meditation. And if you often consume tobacco, nicotine products, or alcohol to release your stress, we sincerely advise you stop consuming them. Although you might think these are good stress reliever, but it is not a long-term solution.
For our last part, conclusion. In our survey, we learned that stress never goes away. However, sometimes stress isn't as dangerous and helpless as you might think. On the other hand, when there is stress, we become motivated. And when there is stress, our lives are organized. And when there is stress, the whole society can function for centuries. However, if we escape the stress and try to ignore it, our lives will change dramatically, but for the worse. For students and workers, their sources of the stress and solutions vary according to their personalities, preferences, and circumstances. However, while the pace of society is gradually accelerating, the stress of life for students and workers will be on the increase.
When faced with stress, we must face it bravely. If we face it securely and properly control the stress, it can become a driving force and a booster to move us forward. Don't let yourself get caught up by the pessimistic and the brooding negative thoughts. Set yourself some achievable goals and reward yourself on a regular basis. We believe that stress can be the dessert in our lives. These are the references for our presentation. Thank you for watching.